Hey, thank you so much for joining us here today at HeartSupport. We are going to have an amazing react for you with a good friend of ours, Rosalie Elliott. She actually is a reactor on YouTube, has her own channel. You can check her out below. She does mental health, music-based reactions, just like we do here. So we're really excited for this collab. She's got a master's in counseling from 2011, did therapy at a nonprofit to support lower income kids and adolescents through substance use and family preservation, then became a teacher at a multilingual school, started her own business. So she's done a lot of amazing work in the mental health space, in the investing in people space. We have a similar heart, and so we're so thankful that she's here. Welcome in, Rosalie.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited.
You've never heard Bring Me the Horizon before, right?
No, I have not. I have no clue what's happening.
Oh, they're an incredible band. We've done so many of their videos on our channel. They are deeply connected with the mental health message of their music and their fan base response. There's a lot of really beautiful intimacy that's created between artist and fan in that world. And so we'll be excited to introduce you to that today. I was just saying, you look like it's hitting you.
Yeah.
So let me into your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm over here like, oh my goodness, my heart, my nerves, my mind is on going 500,000 miles.
Before you drop back in, there's a line in that verse that I actually am really looking forward to asking you about. They say, "I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, lover. Forgive me, mother." Something in there. I just wanted to get your take on that line.
Well, that's a great question. My personal thought was that, well, for one, it was relatable personally, because I think we all know what it's like to feel a certain responsibility in the various roles that we have in life. And I like that he's listing different people, different relationships, right? The relationship we have for a brother versus a lover or our parents is very unique and very different. To me, is very relatable on a human level, because we all know what it's like to feel like you have either failed somebody in your family, or like you feel like you're not quite meeting their expectations. It makes me think of other songs, and I can't put my finger on it right now, where those type of various relationships are listed. But I think it brings a whole host of memories and emotional feelings, just because there's a lot of dynamic there.
Yeah. So one of the things I think is interesting coming from HeartSupport, you know, we've had thousands of conversations with people from varying degrees of, you know, mental health struggles. Obviously, you have two, being a therapist. It's like there are a lot of different people that we encounter. And one of the common themes that I see when people are edging towards suicidal ideation, especially when they're starting to get from passive ideation into active ideation, where they're really considering taking their own life, there is this like litany of apology that they do to try to clean house, like to feel mentally ready to end their life. And so when he was doing this, oh man, it just got me in that headspace. And I was like, oh shoot, you know, like this is heavy stuff.
That's the second phase where my mind went, to your point, it trying to be him maybe trying to have some type of closure and going through the list of other people in his life whose forgiveness he's going to need, because he's gonna cause pain if he were to go through with this. This is heavy.
Yeah.
It's heavy. The part that got me most was that scream. For one, the vocal performance and the scream and just the whole composition, but also the emotion behind how he's communicating what's going on in his heart. That type of
Mhm.
desperation when you feel like your heart is screaming, literally, physically hurting, that's hard to put in words. I feel like music is one of the only
Yeah.
forms that does justice to communicate when someone is in deep despair. Oh, I'm gonna brace myself for the next part.
Can you hear the silence? Can you see the dark? Can you fix a broken? Can you feel my Can you feel my
Oh, that's powerful.
I'm scared to get close, and I hate being alone. I long for that feeling to not feel at all. The higher I get, the lower I'll sink. I can't drown my demons, they know how to swim. I'm scared to get close, and I hate being alone. I long for that feeling to not feel at all. The higher I get, the lower I'll sink. I can't drown my demons, they know how to swim. I'm scared to get close, and I hate being alone. I long for that feeling to not feel at all. The higher I get, the lower I'll sink. I can't drown my demons, they know how to swim. Can you feel that? Can you hear the silence? Can you see the dark? Can you fix the broken? Can you feel? Can you feel?
It's hitting you. Where you at?
Holy macaroni, you guys. This is I wasn't ready for this. I knew you were gonna hit me with something deep, but I didn't think it was this deep. Crap. I'm emotional because my heart hurts for the people in this world who feel exactly like this. I know there's a lot of people hurting in this world, and I'm grateful for channels like HeartSupport and for therapists and people that are bringing awareness to mental health, because I know that the mental health struggle is one of the most loneliest places to be. When you're in physical
Yeah.
ailment and turmoil, that's horribly alone, especially if people might not believe your diagnosis or you don't know what to do. There's no remedy, right? That messes with us on an existential level. But mental health is so hard and painful because you can't always see the scars, right? There's a lot of trauma that
Yeah.
people have experienced, bruises where you can't see the scars. There's no broken arm to prove that someone is in turmoil. And to say, can you hear my heart, is so much deeper than saying, do you hear the words coming out of my mouth? You know what I'm saying? It's this plea of, please see the deepest part of me that is on the inside that I cannot just rip out and show you.
It's so good. What you said about "Can you feel my heart" being this like wretch of desperation. I have I feel very tender about this because I have one of my closest friends who's in a suicidal period. They recently shared with me about a moment like when you're suicidal, loneliness is terrifying. When the only voice in the room is those demons in your mind, it's terrifying. And this moment, like I feel like when you're suicidal, it's like there's this moment of like being caved in by the pain. And this song is this like plea, this like popping above the water, just like yelling help. And so often when people are suicidal, that pop is subtle, which is why I love Can You Hear the Silence? It's like sometimes being silent when I would normally be animated is a pop. I'm just fucking desperate for someone to see that I'm drowning, that moment, can you feel my heart? Like, I love that you pointed that out, because that's the moment you pray you catch your friends in.
Exactly. And that we would hear also as a support community, as a friend, as a loved one, as a therapist, that we would also hear that moment of silence to recognize what's happening in the unspoken. Because a lot of times, even in
Yes.
therapy, for example, there's these pauses where it is uncomfortable for the patient, sometimes even for the therapist, to allow that silence to sit for us to actually be able to hear
Yeah.
each other. And I think that a lot of times that gets lost when we were just to look at things through a textbook. And I think people long for the relational element, even when it comes to therapy. I don't want to be looked at as by my supervisors, by my therapists or doctors, as a case. And I think many people long for that, for someone to see them, to pay attention in those moments in between when the pain is almost too hard to bear, for one, but also too hard to put in words. Pay attention to the things that are not being said. And I actually wrote my thesis, my master's thesis on self-harm and injury, and specifically cutting. But from personal experience and from just seeing this around, it's hard to communicate to people who don't understand. But a lot of times when people hurt themselves, self-harm, self-sabotaging behavior, you find that there is this desire to either stop feeling the pain or to feel something because you're so numb.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
I'm proud of bands like this that use their platform and their skill. I mean, these are amazing musicians to talk about this uncomfortable, heavy topic where
Yeah.
hopefully this type of music can help people put in words what they're feeling and maybe save a life.
I want to get practical on this one for one moment, because I had a friend recently, a director at C3 Presents, a festival producing company, and he was reminding me of the importance of asking the question, are you suicidal? And most people think that that would push someone deeper into suicidality. And so they're afraid of that question. But this song, it just reminds me that asking, are you suicidal, is a direct line for someone to just pop up and say, yes.
Yes.
Right? Because it's so
Absolutely.
hard
Yes.
to vocalize that thought, the things that it's like, how do you encapsulate all of it? And there's so many like things inside your mind that block you. And I've had 3 friends in the last year who, when I asked, are you suicidal, said yes. And it was that question that caused a divide from them dealing with it alone and them now having someone who's with them.
I 100% agree with you. And actually, I had learned that in my training as well, to ask people and to be specific about it, and to ask, to be able to identify how much of it is passive or active suicidal ideation. Even in general in life, by giving something a name and calling something what it is, we empower the thing, right? I mean, we all have a name, right? And we identify by our name. We call each other by our name. We refer to one another by our job and the things we have and the things we do. That's part of our identity. And that goes for us on a superficial level. Who are you? What's your name? What do you do? But it also goes for on the deeper level of giving something a name. That's why we go to doctors, to get a diagnosis so we can find the remedy. We have to give a name in order to find the antidote. And I think it's the same with this topic. I think there's power in asking, hey, are you okay? To ask someone, are you suicidal? Because people are hurting in silence. And to be honest with you, even that in itself is therapeutic, I believe. Because when somebody can pop their head up and say, yes, I am, you already have taken some of that power away from those demons. Because in that individual's mind, the demons might be able to swim, hence why they can't drown them out. But now another person shows up and the demons are not swimming in their mind. And you sure best believe I will show up and I will fight for you, because those demons will not be swimming on my time. So there's this empowerment, like if somebody literally is drowning, saying, I'm going to throw you a life ring. Those demons are drowning you. You cannot overcome them, but I have got a life ring and I know how to swim. Let's swim together. I'll put you on my back until you can start learning how to swim again. There's this, you know what I mean? Like, call it out, give it a name, speak up for people to realize they're not alone, because those demons will gaslight people, right? People stay silent because there's so much stigma involved. They're afraid that if they speak up, now others might diminish, dismiss, belittle what they're going through. And then it keeps us silent, and it perpetuates that cycle of complete despair, because it's so confusing and overwhelming. You don't even know where to start, versus saying, just start with yes, just that simple question. And if the answer is yes, Now we go get help.
Rosalie, you're good at what you do. I was not expecting to go this deep and feel this deeply about this song, but you brought us there, man. It's so good. Thank you for bringing your heart.
Hey, my pleasure. This was a powerful song. Thank you for sharing this with my heart, man. It did me good too. Lit me on fire, man. I just want to go out and save the world now. I'm like, let's help people.
I love it. Well, if you're watching and you feel the same, if there's something that stirs in you to want to be a part of being that lifeline for other people, but you don't know how, we have literally created a program for you. If you click in the caption of this video and you click on the I want to become a volunteer and you sign up, we send you not only a 3-hour training course full of evidence-based research on how to be a person who can walk alongside someone, but we have bonus training from the psychologist on our board of directors, Dr. Michelle Sari. She does a bonus series on suicide specifically. So if you have people in your life that are struggling, if you've been in situations but not known what to do, that training literally changed my life and the lives of people that I support. And so I can't stand by this training enough. If you want to be a person that makes a difference, please sign up to become a volunteer with us. And while you're in the caption, click on Rosalie's channel, subscribe to her channel, go and show her some love. We're so thankful that she was here. She's going to do another one with us very soon, so stay tuned. And I wanted to shout out our good friend Hansel Hershend. This guy is someone who inspires me. He found us through one of our band partnerships online. He just started quietly giving. His family has a foundation, and he said, I love this music. I want to make a difference in this scene, and I have this resource that I can direct to help more fans find the support that they need. And so he started quietly giving for 2 years with nobody even knowing. This dude was a ghost. We were finally able to connect, and we developed this really cool friendship. He's had us out to his restaurant. He's like a top-notch chef at an amazing restaurant called the Metropolitan Grill. And he's just doing what he loves to do and using what he has to help heal the scene. And so if you want to hear more of Hansel's story, you can see his interview with us in the description of this video, and you can start to brainstorm if you want to be involved in helping heal the scene. Let it inspire you to get creative. This mission will take all of us, including you. So thank you for being here.